Hello there and welcome to Preparing for Legion. In this series of 10 videos we're going to discuss how you can prepare for the launch of Legion. Be it things you can do right now or information about the various systems you'll be interacting with upon launch. Hopefully these will help you prepare for the next expansion. In this video we're going to discuss the Lore of Legion. I have wanted to do this video for so long. Don't worry, there will be no spoilers in this video for anything after Legion's launch. No spoilers for what is about to happen on August 30th, I promise that. Mostly because I don't know them. But since we'll be discussing things regarding the characters up to launch, we'll be spoiling some subjects of mostly the Warcraft Chronicle in this video. These resources are already out there, but I just wanted to warn you. Now let's sit back, relax, and tell the story of the Burning Legion. Right, so let's start at the beginning. Literally, the beginning of the universe. The World of Warcraft Chronicle reads that before life began, before even the cosmos took shape, there was light, and there was void. Unfettered by the confines of time and space, the light swelled across all of existence in the form of a boundless prismatic sea. Great torrents of living energy flitted through its mirrored depths, their movements conjuring a symphony of joy and hope. The ocean of light was dynamic and ever-shifting. Yet as it expanded, some of its energies faded and dimmed, leaving behind pockets of cold nothingness. From the absence of light in these spaces, a new power coalesced and came to be. This power was the Void, a dark and vampiric force driven to devour all energy, to twist creation inward to feed upon itself. The Void quickly grew and spread its influence, moving against the flowing waves of light. The mounting tension between these two opposing yet inseparable energies eventually ignited a series of catastrophic explosions, rupturing the fabric of creation and birthing a new realm into existence. In that moment, the physical universe was born. That concept is at the heart of Warcraft lore, the light and the dark. They created the universe, and they constantly battle with one another. Created from the light are the Naru, creatures of living holy energy. You've probably seen these guys before. They are the purest expression of the light, who have vowed to bring peace and hope to all mortal civilizations and waylay the dark forces of the Void. Created from the darkness are the Void Lords, monstrous entities composed of pure shadow energy, beings whose cruelty and merciless ways are beyond mortal comprehension. They are driven by a hunger to devour all matter and energy in the universe. But, in their natural state, they exist outside of reality, and only the most powerful of these entities can manifest in the physical universe, and only for small amounts of time. Sometime after the universe was created, the first Titan awoke from a deep slumber. His name was Aman'Thul, and he began to search the universe for others of his kind. He explored world after world, slowly finding souls the size of planets. Very few of these worlds were Titans, but he eventually discovered those that were. He nurtured and roused them from their slumber and convinced them to aid his cause of finding more of their kind. He and his siblings became known as the Pantheon, and they were benevolent. They had incredible power and natural affinity for the latent magic of the universe, but they bound themselves to a code of temperance towards the civilizations they encountered. When the Titans reached a world, they would shape it to ascertain whether a world soul was present. They started by taming the elementals on the world's surface and then shaping it, creating mountains, seas, and skies. They would then seed life forms across the world, which would call upon a world soul if it were present. However, even the worlds that did not contain souls were protected by the Titans. They created massive machines that could monitor their creations and, if they deviated into disorder and chaos, purge the world to start again. The Pantheon itself consisted of Aman'Thul, the High Father of the Pantheon, its leader; Sargeras, the Defender of the Pantheon; Agrima, the Lieutenant of Sargeras; Eonar, the Lifebinder; Khaz'goroth, the Shaper and Forger of Worlds; Norgannon, Keeper of Celestial Magics and Lore; and Golganeth, Lord of the Skies and Roaring Oceans. But the Titans weren't alone in the great dark beyond. There was another realm outside of it, a place of chaotic magic and turbulent chaos. This was known as the Twisting Nether, and from it were born demons. They had formed as a result of the light and void energies that had bled together at the borders of the realm, and the demons took great joy in gaining power and spreading chaos and destruction. They learned the ways of fell magic and all-consuming power inherent to the Twisting Nether, and slowly, these demons found ways into our universe. Among the greatest of these demons were the Nathrezim. You know them as Dreadlords, and they destroyed worlds, not through power or conquest, but through deceit. They infiltrated mortal civilizations, sowing unrest and turning nation against nation. As these worlds fell into chaos, the Nathrezim would corrupt the population, twisting innocents into new and horrific forms of demons. Meanwhile, the Annihilan, or Pit Lords as we know them, were far more direct. They simply destroyed everything in their path, rampaging across worlds and annihilating civilizations. It wasn't long until the Pantheon got wind of the demons, and so, knowing the dangers that they posed, the Titans sent their most powerful warrior, Sargeras, to destroy the demons and protect the cosmos. For untold ages, Sargeras travelled to worlds under siege by the demons, defending them and casting the fell back to whence it came. Victory after victory, world after world, for millennia after millennia, Sargeras began to see that some of the demons were wielding void energies. He investigated, and finally found the source of this dark magic, the Void Lords. Now aware of the Void Lords, Sargeras continued his fight, and began to realize that the demons he were fighting weren't new. He recognized many of them. They weren't dying. When he cut them down or destroyed them, their spirits simply returned to the Twisting Nether, where they would slowly be reborn into new bodies. You see, a demon cannot truly die unless it is in the Nether, or in a place so corrupted by Fel that it touches the Nether's borders. Sargeras, however, did not know this yet, so he came up with another plan: contain the demons. It was at this point that the Pantheon sent Sargeras' lieutenant, Agramar, to aid him against the demonic onslaught. With Agramar aiding him, Sargeras had more time to study the Twisting Nether and find a way to contain the demons. Within the Nether, Sargeras forged a mighty prison world. It was known as Mardoom, the Plane of Banishment, and it would be a pocket dimension where Sargeras would cast demons down. Never again would they threaten the universe. But as Agramar and Sargeras continued their campaign, the prison grew and began to overflow with unbelievable amounts of fell magic permeating from its massive amounts of prisoners. Soon these gathered energies began to tear at the veil between the Nether and the Great Dark. We'll return to Mardoom soon, but for the time being, Sargeras and the Pantheon thought they had won. With the demon attacks decreasing in frequency, Sargeras and Agramar split up to mop up any remaining demons. But while alone and hunting for these demons, Sargeras discovered something horrible. A desiccated world that radiated void magic, covered in festering, pustulant beings of immense power. These were the old gods, and they had embedded themselves in the world. But not just any world. A titanic world soul had been corrupted by the old gods, turning its dreams into nightmares. And these old gods had worshippers. Some of the Dreadlords that had wielded the Void Lord's powers were there. So Sargeras captured and interrogated them, and learned that if the Void Lords used their old god's servants to capture and corrupt a nascent titan, something unspeakably dark and evil would awaken. No power in creation, not even the Pantheon, could stand against it. There was nothing Sargeras could do. So he took his mighty sword and destroyed the world, cleaving it in two. The explosion killed all of the old gods on the world and consumed the energies they had wrought, but it also slew the world soul as well. A titan was dead. Sargeras immediately returned to the Pantheon and told them what had happened. He told them what he had been forced to do about the Void Lords and their old god servants, and was met with chastisement for acting so rashly. The Pantheon argued that they might have been able to save the world soul if he hadn't destroyed it. But they hadn't been there, they hadn't seen what Sargeras had seen, and after many, many long arguments, mostly about other world souls that may have already been corrupted by the old gods, Sargeras felt betrayed. He turned away from his own kind, vowing that he alone would end the Void Lord's corruption. The Pantheon continued their journey and found another world soul, but this one was already under attack by the Void Lord's pets, the old gods. 4 of them had reached the world: Yasaraj, Nazoth, Yogg-Saron, and Cthulhu. This world soul was called Azeroth. Yeah, are Azeroth. It's a Titan. A Titan with potentially more power than any other. If the Void Lords got their hands on it, the universe would be doomed. The Titans waged war against the Old Gods, sending their Titan-forged armies to fight against their Black Empire. They succeeded against all but one of the Old Gods, Y'Shaarj. It was too powerful. With their armies unable to defeat it, Aman'Thul himself reached out of the clouds and ripped Y'Shaarj's body from the world, and in doing so, nearly killed Azeroth. Realizing that these parasitic creatures had burrowed so far into the world that destroying them might do the same to Azeroth, the Titans instead locked the Old Gods in prisons. They created keepers and armies of Titan-forged soldiers to watch over the world. These keepers were Arcadus, Freya, Hodir, Loken, Mimiron, Thorim, Tyr, Ra, and Odin. These Watchers, along with the Titans themselves, shaped Azeroth into a supercontinent that they called Kalimdor. To aid these keepers, the Titans created wondrous artifacts that would help them order the world, the Pillars of Creation. As they departed, the Titans blessed the dragons who had just saved much of northern Kalimdor from their own raging brother, Galakrond, with safeguarding the world. Now, back to Sargeras. During this time, Sargeras had been meditating on the fate of the universe if the Void Lords were to corrupt a world soul. The corrupted Titan's power would be limitless. Everything would be destroyed. Nothing would survive. Even the Pantheon would fall. Sargeras had to stop this. He had to do something. But he didn't know where the world souls were. He didn't even know where the Void Lords or their old god servants were. And so, after meditating and thinking on this, Sargeras made a decision. The only way to spare the universe from the darkness was to purge everything in fire. No world would be spared, for if even a trace of the Void Lord's corruption remained, the universe would be doomed. But to pull off such a feat, Sargeras would need an army that would destroy everything in his name, an immortal army. And so he went to Mardoom, the plane of banishment. Over the ages, the prison had become bloated with fell power, transforming it into a hellscape of captive demons and gigantic amounts of fell energy. Sargeras tore the prison asunder, shattering the plane of banishment and freeing the demons. The violent energies within enveloped Sargeras, surging through his body and soul. It corrupted him, within and without. Fell volcanoes ignited across his body, his eyes flared with emerald fire, and his rage burned unending. By shattering Mardoom, Sargeras had ruptured the boundary between the Great Dark and the Twisting Nether. For all eternity, a scar would exist there, a rent in creation. By this point, Sargeras knew much about the demons, including how to destroy them. So he made them a pact. Serve him, or die. It was not a difficult choice for the demons to make. And so began the Burning Crusade. For ages, the burning legions of Sargeras and his demonic armies surged across worlds, destroying everything. Agramar soon responded and was stunned to see Sargeras so corrupted. He tried to plead, but Sargeras and him soon entered titanic battle. And Sargeras had the upper hand. Titans, you see, are weak to fell magic. Their blades met, fell energy exploding outwards, destroying both of their weapons. In this moment, Agramar fled and warned the Pantheon. Immediately they gathered. So it was the Pantheon confronted their fallen brother. Aman'Thul pleaded, telling Sargeras about Azeroth, a world soul that had more potential than any other member of the Pantheon, than even Sargeras, a world soul that could stop the Void Lords. Agramar himself laid down his arms and begged his brother to return to them. They offered forgiveness. Sargeras killed them all. Every member of the Pantheon was slaughtered. But as the onslaught of fell energy consumed them, Norgannon, keeper of celestial magics and lore, made a desperate attempt to save them. He bent the energies of the universe and pulled the spirits of the Titans away from their bodies, launching them into the Great Dark. Sargeras was unaware that these tiny sparks of the Titans had survived. He declared victory and continued his burning crusade. And thanks to Agramar, he had a new target: Azeroth. No world has ever survived the Legion's coming. Every plane of existence, every reality, the countless different versions of Azeroth are all in danger. We might very well be the first to stop them. We don't know. There is a lot of lore here, so I'm going to suggest some resources for you to take a look at while waiting for launch. Going over them would take a very long time, so it's easier for you to just look them up yourself. Start by watching the Harbingers series of videos. These cover the history of Gul'dan, who himself has opened up the portal at the Broken Shore in the Tomb of Sargeras. It will cover what Khadgar has been up to before he called upon our aid. It will cover Illidan and his demon hunters. Alongside this, listen to all 4 parts of the Legion audio drama. It details how Gul'dan came to open up the portal at the Tomb of Sargeras, why he did it, why he serves the Legion that wants to destroy everything, and how Khadgar tried to stop him with the help of Maev's Shadow Song. Finally, read the novel Illidan. It will go over, in great detail, Illidan's plans at the Black Temple all those years ago, Maev's desperate attempts to stop him, Akama's duplicitous schemes, and the Demon Hunter's origins in great detail. There's a reason they cut out their eyes. If you read Illidan, you'll find out. There are links to all of these in the description. All but the Illidan novel are free. And if you want to learn even more about the World of Warcraft in so much detail that it'll make your eyes pop out, then definitely pick up the World of Warcraft Chronicle, which only has 1 volume right now, but there will definitely be more. With these resources, you'll be caught up on the lore behind Legion. Please don't spoil anything regarding Legion's storyline in the comments. That will conclude this video. Next time we'll discuss preparing your computer for launch. We'll include some tips and tricks for getting the most out of your beloved machine so that it can run Legion as best as possible. And we'll go over some things you can do with World of Warcraft itself to increase your frame rate, so that you'll be killing demons and saving the world with a silky smooth display. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you have any questions, thoughts, comments, or suggestions, you can contact me using the links in the description, or you can just leave a comment. If you want to help support the channel, there's a link to my Patreon page in the description as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you the best of luck in the World of Warcraft.